What's going on, everybody? Thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking on the thumbnail. You read the title, you saw it, and you were interested. Now, if you are consider yourself an advanced shooter, go ahead and click off right now. You're going to get pissed off or something. However, I still invite you to watch the video. If there's something that you can add to this list, please do in the comment section. So these are just 8 things I'm going to talk about. Now, everybody has their number. 5 things you should do with a rifle. 4 ways to do this. 3 days to become a better shooter. All right, whatever. These are the 8 things I'm going to talk about when it comes to stressors. I don't see very many videos on stressors. We just say things that'll make you better. But there's not always bad stress. There is good stress as well. And I want to talk about 8 stressors when it comes to firearm shooting that I think will make you a better shooter in the long run, no matter what. All right, so starting off is just basic marksmanship. Can you hit the damn target?
Nope.
Because if you cannot hit the damn target, you need to just stop right there, get that down, and then add the rest of the things I'm going to talk about, and you'll understand why. Because if you can't hit the target, the rest of the things aren't going to matter at all. So if you'd like, I'd make a whole nother video on just overall marksmanship. The algorithm is going to be flooded. If you Google that, you're going to see so many videos from people who have all the training in the world but not pulled one round at an enemy. People who have very little training and they've shot multiple people. It's all over, right? You're going to have different philosophies, whether you're a man, a woman, a police officer, a military member, a basic citizen. You can get a wide array of opinions on what to do. However, this is just mine, and it's based on experience on the things. I actually know more civilians who have bodies than I do sailors and Marines.
What?
And it's not good.
Nope.
You know what I mean? A lot of it's some street stuff, but if I want to know what it's like to go kill somebody, I'm not going to go ask most of the people I know in the military. I'll go ask somebody I know from the streets. So I don't go and say, hey, go give me marksmanship tips from gang members and drug dealers. I don't want that, and hopefully you don't either. But 1, hit the damn target. If you cannot hit the target, like I said, move on. You can't implement the rest of this stuff unless you can hit the target in the first place, so that's kind of my point. Next thing is going to be gear, whether that comes with slings, holsters, chest rigs, plate carriers, belts, war belts, battle belts, whatever you want to call it. The different type of holsters we have. So like I have right here, T-Rex Arms Sidecar 2 with my Glock 22. I have a Tier 1, whatever the hell this is called, with my M18 or my P320. And I also have this other one. I forgot who makes it. I saw it on Facebook, right? It's EH something. I forgot. Enhanced Essential Holsters. But my P365, it literally just snaps onto the trigger guard. And yes, it is empty. But I wanted to just go ahead and say whatever gear you have, train with that gear. These are 3 different setups I currently have on 3 different weapon systems. Also, with these weapon systems, 2 of them, like the Glock specifically, and my 365 do not have an external safety, right? And that's okay. Not all firearms do. Let's go ahead and do this again. So these 2 firearms do not have an external safety whatsoever. So I can just go ahead and pull the trigger and it will shoot. I have a firearm with an external safety. That is my M18 or P320 Compact, and it does have a safety on it as well. Once again, empty for the purpose of this video. So if you're going to train with your gear, make sure you know what you're using. Not everything is going to have a safety. Not everything is going to have an optic. So once again, out of these 2 right here, this is the only one that has an optic on it. And it's got the little red dot on the front. So don't train with all of them. If you don't even know how to hit the broadside of a barn with any of them, pick the gun that you have if you have one of these type firearms, and just get good with it. Get good with it. Be able to look at the target and hit it. Your point of aim and your point of impact should be best friends, at least on a man-sized target, anywhere from 7 yards. 7 to 15 yards. I'll even go as far as to say 25. And yeah. So is your point of aim, point of impact best friends? or are they long lost relatives looking for each other? So there goes that. Next thing I wanted to talk about, I took notes because people forget, right? We're human beings, we take notes. Time constraints. So that's another thing. So once you've already got that down, you know how to hit the target accurately. You can aim at this and hit that thing. You're good to go. I would start implementing time into your drills. Now, give it a goal that's achievable. If you are a high-speed operator and you have to hit so many targets within a certain time frame, then obviously do that. But if you're just starting out, don't try to reach level 3 marksmanship and level 4 and all the stuff you see on TV. It looks cool for entertainment purposes, but you're going to mess around and hurt yourself trying to do something that you don't know what to do. Give yourself an achievable goal based on your skill set. So if you're out there doing things like, once again, utilizing the gear, so let's go back. If you have holsters and slings, see what it's like to be in a neutral, natural position, and then get yourself a timer, a shot timer. You don't even need a shot timer. They can be expensive. They can be over $100 for some. There are apps on your phones that have timers in them. Now, of course, you're not going to hear it that well over ear protection, but you can have it even set up on like a tripod or something in front of you while you're shooting, and you can just look at the countdown and the screen will turn a different color, and then you start engaging your target and give yourself that time constraint. I can't tell you what it is. That's going to be based on each individual shooter. The next thing I will say that'll make you a better shooter, because now that you have the gear down, now that you have time constraints down, and you know you have a certain time limit to do these in, give yourself multiple targets. You're going to train your brain specifically on having to engage multiple threats and do the mental gymnastics of which one to engage first based on posture, size, threat level, distance, all of that stuff. So give yourself multiple targets, set them up in such a way, run a certain course where you can do that. And then also do it in reverse. So if you took out this target first, take it out second next time and see if that messes you up. And if you can't do that, then you'll understand where your point of failure is at that point and actually think through the process. Remember, have a plan for everything you do and do it on purpose. Don't just go in there blindly and start doing stuff. Have a plan. I understand you can't have a plan for a real world scenario, but the way that you train, you will have implemented that in your brain. So if the situation arises, you kind of have a unique experience to back this up from. So with multiple targets, I will say also give yourself multiple distances. I recently was doing a standard pistol barricade drill, which I put on my story, and somebody lost their brain. You know, they woke up in the morning, logged in, and just started vomiting from their freaking mouth into the phone onto my story or YouTube short. And it was just me doing a simple pistol barricade drill. 6-hit requirement that involved at least 5 to 6 different skill sets that I've had to teach and not only learn. The first one being doing a 180. So I got contact rear, or shots are coming from behind me. Of course, they weren't. I had the time constraint on me. I had to do a 180. I had to draw my pistol from a holster, a thigh holster, not a conceal holster, and do like a weird position, like a squat, if you will, and engage one target at 15 yards, drop to my knees, engage 2 more targets at 7 yards, and put 2 hits on each, and then go into a prone and hit a 25-yard target that was standing. Strong side specifically. And those are all little skill sets that you have to build upon. But once again, multiple targets, multiple distances. Not every target's going to be standing in a straight line waiting for you to knock them down.
Nope.
Also, with the multiple targets and multiple distances, knowing your holdovers, because if you have fixed sights or iron sights, you're still going to be able to shoot either, completely level, out of the notch, over the notch, whatever it is. And if you have an optic, red dot, or holographic sight, you may have to adjust for your holdovers as well. And that's going to be a really big key one, is not only just understanding that, knowing if I say, hey, that target is at 15 yards, that one is at 25, that one over there is at 50, and you're using the same optic, you're not going to put the reticle on the same spot. You're going to have to understand what your holdovers are, and that is, once again, a trainingism that you need to learn. Cool. Moving on. Adverse angles. All right, so get uncomfortable. I'm definitely telling you, while you're shooting, to get uncomfortable once you've already met the fact that you are a marksman, you can hit the target, you understand how to hit multiple targets, you understand how your gear works, all this other stuff. You're going to become comfortable. Creature comforts. You're going to understand everything. It's going to be nice and, overcast or just enough sun. The weather's going to be perfect. Your gear's going to work perfect. Everything's smooth and flawless. Now I'm telling you, after you get comfortable and everything's fine, you're hitting the time constraints. Now I'm going to say get uncomfortable in that gear. Give yourself adverse angles or extreme angles to shoot from. Similar to what I said from that pistol barricade drill alone. Go from standing, kneeling, and prone. Go from prone, kneeling, to prone, to standing. Whatever you have to do. Once again, standing up and hitting that target may not be too hard. Now kneel and do it. And you may say, oh, well, I have a bad knee. Now, if you have bad anatomical reasons why you shouldn't be doing something, don't do it. But if you can do it, you physically can do it, but you're not comfortable, that's where you need to start training. Start doing something that is uncomfortable until it becomes your new comfort level, where you can throw almost anything at you and you will be semi-comfortable in that scenario. So having to utilize, your neck to, reach up and look at an idea, threat positively, and then get your firearm out there and shoot it through a small mouse hole or a portion of a barricade, having to pivot on which knee to get a better stable position to shoot a target underneath something, getting into the fetal position while you're shooting a pistol, semi-fetal position, or just laying straight down prone like you have a rifle but with a pistol. However you do it, give yourself these extreme angles. During this whole time, you will not only be testing your limits, you will also be testing your gear, which is one of the previous things. Does that stuff work only while you're standing? Does it work while you're sitting down? Does it work while you're kneeling? What about while you're proned out? And most importantly, does it work while you're moving? I don't know how many times I've seen people move, myself included, and they just start having a yard sale down the freaking firing line, running with gear. I've had people run and they've had some really, really good gear, really good holsters for competition specific, and the way their pistol was, they had to run with their hand on their pistol the entire time. Some of it was based on their skill level, and some of it was based on the fact that they had no retention device whatsoever for that pistol, and I mean none. So they couldn't run comfortably with their M4 or service rifle. They had to run with one hand swinging around with that while another hand was holding their pistol from falling out of their holster. So take that as you will. So like I said, adverse angles. The next one is moving from station to station. Kind of going right back into what I just said about moving, having to make sure your gear works for you. Moving from station to station is going to also help you understand that your enemy/targets will probably not be stationary. Most designated marksmen or snipers and whatever you want to call it, those people may have stationary targets. They tend to have moving targets as well, but they are the ones I know who have the primary stationary targets, who's unaware of their anything, right? They don't know anything about that. So having that is going to make a lot of sense. Running from point A to point B, this is where you can do the course in reverse. So do a course one way, you kind of learn it one way, and then do the same thing in reverse. It's going to mess you up. It's supposed to mess you up. It's another stressor that you're adding into it, and see, can you still problem solve? Can you still move from A to B and do that? Same thing in reverse. Maybe you running the course in reverse, not saying start at the bottom and then work your way back, but start from another side and work your way to the other side of the range. That will definitely help you so much more in understanding which targets to engage, what you can and cannot see behind cover or concealment, and stuff like that. Also, the enemy most likely will be shooting back at you, so even if you don't have that, you need to be able to shoot on the move. So hopefully you understand that. And the last one I want to talk about, which to me is number 8, if I didn't already get my numbers messed up, is add friends. I would not say I'm at that level now, so I've already understood how to hit the target. My marksmanship is down. My gear, I understand how to use my gear. I started adding in time constraints. The rest of the list goes on. I can move from adverse angles, different positions, multiple targets, multiple distances. I feel pretty confident in my skills, and then I'm going to have a friend who says, that looks pretty cool, can I join you? If you're not at my level of shooting or safety level to shoot, I'm not going to do that with you at all.
Nope.
Because you may mess around and shoot me, shoot yourself. You know what I mean? If we have multiple targets and you see all this stuff and then you see me walk around, you might shoot me on accident. And I know that's being completely extreme, but people have shot their friends accidentally. And I'm just like, yeah, no. If you can't do those things, like I said, comfortably on your own, I have no business trying to implement my training in with yours at that point. We can do the Proverbs 27:17 thing. Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. If I'm good at something and you're good at something else, we can feed off of each other for sure. But I will not be doing 2-man stress courses with you and stuff like that at all if you can't complete a 1-man stress course or barricade drills and stuff like that. Also, friends, I wanted to talk about this too. Knowing when and when not to depend on other people. If you've ever played volleyball, which I'm sure many of you have played volleyball in your life, you probably been in that scenario where you guys both have plenty of time to look up and see the volleyball coming down, you and the person next to you on your team, and you both literally just sit there and watch it fall and hit the ground. If that happens, everyone's going to be like, well, I thought you had it. Well, I thought you had it too. Well, it was closer to you, yes, but it was in your sector. Well, you were running at it, so I just backed off. Whatever it may be, that's the point. Be able to communicate that with somebody and say, hey, regardless of sector, I will do it unless I know you are so far away and you have no physical chance of being able to do it, then I will go ahead and do it for you, regardless if it's in my sector or not. I am closest proximity to it. So when you're doing multiple targets and engagements and stuff like that with friends or other shooters, I should say, be able to talk about, hey, what happens if this threat pops up? Okay, well, if it's in this distance, you engage it based on your optic setup or based on your skill level. Now, if there's just one target and there's two of us, both of you can take it out. There isn't, oh, I'm going to sit here, hold masculine frame while I'm waiting for you to engage the target. Just if I can get it too, I will. But if there's multiple threats popping up and some of them are much further away and I have an LPVO or a scope and you've got iron sights and a red dot or a holographic sight, you take these smaller targets out, I'll take the further targets out. But that's just saying it in the sense of for a training, I personally would take out the lower or the closer threats regardless, just because they are probably the most potential threat. And then I will reach out with my optics if I can. I'm not going to sit here and watch 5 people shoot at both of us while I'm trying to tag and play sniper tag with somebody on the other side of the field. But just understand there are reasons for this. So those are the 8 things I think will make you a better shooter if you add these stressors into your training. This is not marksmanship drills. I could do a video on that if you'd like, but this specifically is just, these are things to add to make you a better shooter. And start today. Either way, let me know what you guys think. If there's something I'm missing, if there's something you do that does not meet the list that I stated, please put it down in the comment section. I'm very curious to know what it is you guys do. Speaking of which, I'm probably about to leave here in not too long and take myself to the range and go shoot. And no, it's not going to be a 5.56. I'm probably going to do some rimfire shooting, surprisingly. Some 22 long rifle, some 17 HMR. Some stuff like that. I haven't shot those in a while. So either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know, once again, if you liked it or not. Please like the video if you liked it. If you dislike it and this is the worst video of all time, give it a thumbs down so nobody else has to go through the pain of watching this video. Thank you, and I'm out. Peace.